Hey Mixers, welcome back to another NFL video. We're going to go over the sides, totals, and spreads for the divisional round. Obviously, review our picks from last week. And then I am going to get back into basketball. I cannot promise you when, but I'm hoping sometime this week, maybe even today. Like for tomorrow's games. So we'll see. They just do not put the props up early enough, you guys, and I'm tired. All right, let's jump into it. Okay, you guys, so I did terrible picking the money lines and the spreads, but the totals, I got all but one. So that was pretty awesome. And the Houston-Pittsburgh total, we only missed by 3 points. So, I mean, I know that some of that was garbage time being piled on there at the end. I just thought the Steelers were going to do a little bit more, but evidently not. But otherwise, on the totals, had a great showing on the totals, and we did bet on it, one of them, I think. Let's get into it. Yeah, so we did come out negative for the week, unfortunately, after 6 straight weeks in a row of positive game bets. We missed our super teaser by one leg only because the Steelers could not get it done. The Jacksonville Buffalo money line. So I had Jacksonville plus 100 going into the game, and then I did not include this in the calculations, but I live bet Buffalo money line after Jacksonville scored their touchdown. So it was like 3-7, and they gave it to me at like plus 180. And so I always am going to take those chances on a game where I think either team could win. And so that way, if Jacksonville wins, then I just come out even. And if Buffalo wins, then I come out ahead. So I actually did make money on that game, but I'm not counting it here because I obviously didn't. That's not the bet I gave out to you guys. And then the Chargers on the money line, Chargers on the spread, that did not come through. And the Chargers on the total, under on the total, did come through. I was very confident about that one. Unfortunately, only played a half a unit on it, but that is how we're doing the playoffs right now. I don't know if the Chargers could have won that game. I do think they could have covered the spread, but they just didn't. The offensive line wasn't playing very well, and they didn't take advantage of the turnovers, so didn't take points when they had the opportunity. I think they could have covered, but they decided not to. All right, so I didn't give you any touchdown calls or player props. So let me get into. I will tell you though, the player props I was only on 2 of them. Rico Dowdle over the first half rushing, which did not come through, and then Jordan Love on his passing yards, which did come through. So kind of 50-50, but I didn't give those out publicly. So Buffalo at Denver. The Bills have won the last 4 out of the 5, like 4 out of the last 5 head-to-heads. One was in Denver. One was last year in the postseason in Buffalo. So Buffalo does have a little bit of a recent history of winning against this team, but obviously the Broncos went through a pretty tough time after Peyton Manning retired. Then they had a really long stretch of not being that good. So the Bills are scoring 25.2 points in away games, and the Broncos are allowing 17.8 at home. And then the Broncos are scoring 25.6 at home, and the Bills are allowing 19.8. I think they both push the defenses a little bit over that. So 24-20 is kind of the final score I see. And I originally was leaning towards Denver when they were underdogs yesterday, but now they're now they're favorites. I'm still leaning towards them. I obviously would have preferred to get them as underdogs, but I didn't make this video yesterday. I'm making it today, so that's the number we're getting. And then the number was higher. I believe it was like 51.5. Maybe it was only 48, but it came down. And I do like the under. So I'm going to bet the under there. For the super teaser, we're going to do Denver team total over 16.5. And then we'll put Buffalo in a teaser up to 7.5. Because I do think it is going to be a close game, one way or the other. All right, San Francisco and the Seahawks. So the 49ers and the Seahawks. So let's look at the history between these two teams. So this year, the away teams won. Last year, the away teams won. In 2023, the 49ers swept. And in 2022, the 49ers swept and won a postseason wildcard matchup. So the San Francisco 49ers have dominated the Seattle team lately. Even this year, trading at least, even though the Seattle team is clearly the better team, in my opinion. San Francisco's just suffering from so many injuries, and they are heavy underdogs, which I'm not going to bet on it because I already have a bet, like a long-term bet for San Francisco to win the division, not the division, the conference, and it was 1,000 to 1. So, I mean, if that comes through, I'm obviously getting paid. So I would more likely lean towards the Seahawks side of things, but I don't like them in a money line parlay because there's just no other teams I want to put with them because I'm not sure on the other 3 games. So anyway, the 49ers are scoring 27.5 in away games, so they are playing better on the road, and the Seahawks are allowing 20.3 at home, so they are allowing more points at home, and the San Francisco is playing better on the road. So this is looking good for San Francisco. The Seahawks are scoring 30.6 points at home, and the 49ers are allowing 21 points in away games. So it's going to be fairly high scoring, I think, which obviously the past 2 matchups this year have not been. And so I do think this one does push a little bit higher. 27-21 is kind of the score I'm seeing. And I'm not sure how San Francisco is going to stop Seattle. So I see Seattle pulling out the win. I'll take San Francisco on the money line to keep it close. I mean, on the spread, to keep it close, just trying to get, they might be down 2 scores and, they're really trying to catch up, and maybe they get 1 score and they just get a backdoor cover here because that 7.5 that's a big number for a postseason matchup. It's a big number for a division matchup. And so I just don't like it. So I'll side with the underdog there. And then we'll go over 44.5. I make the game 48, so that's significantly higher than 44.5. And then for the super teaser, we'll put San Francisco plus 16.5. Like, that's a ridiculous spread to get in a division postseason matchup. And then I lean towards Seattle on the money line. All right, Rams and the Bears. The Rams are 3-2 in the last 5 head-to-heads, so barely winning this series. And the home teams have won in the past 5 head-to-heads. So the home teams have always won lately. Rams are scoring 32.1 points in away games, and the Bears are allowing only 18.7. So it's strength on strength. And then the Bears are scoring 26.2, and the Rams are only allowing 23.2. So what that tells me is that this all comes down to how well the Bears defense plays. And obviously we all know that the Bears have been getting also pretty lucky with turnovers and things like that this year. So that's going to need to also continue. Matthew Stafford has thrown interceptions in the past 2 games in a row. And he threw an interception against Carolina the first time they played. So it's possible the Bears get an interception here. I'm more interested in seeing just how many times they can sack Matthew Stafford for negative yardage, make them punt. So I do think that the Bears are going to get up a little bit early and that the Rams are going to come back from behind and win. So I'm going to say Rams on the money line, Chicago on the spread. I think it ends up being very close. And then I'll take the over 48.5, but I'm not super confident about that. I have it at about 51. And this total has dropped, I think. So it was at 51.5, and I liked the under, but now it's dropped to 48.5. So I have to like the over just based on the scores that I put together here. And then Rams at Chicago, both to score 15 points is the super teaser. And then I'll put the Bears in a regular teaser as well. And then Houston at New England. So the Texans have won 3 out of the last 5 head-to-heads, and that includes 1 game in New England. Patriots have not beat the Texans by more than 7 since Tom Brady. So, and this is the best Texans defense we've probably ever seen. Like in the entire history of the team, this might be the best defense we've ever seen. I know J.J. Watt was an awesome player, but it's kind of like Max Crosby on the Raiders, where he's a great player, but the team is not. This is a team effort here. I think they've just got so much depth on their defense and so many good players. So, I don't think that the Patriots are going to win by more than 7 if they do win. Texans are scoring 20.9 points in away games, and the Patriots are allowing 16.7. Then the Patriots are scoring 27 at home, but only the Texans are only allowing 14.3. Now, check out the last 3 games. Texans are scoring 29.3 in the last 3 games, but the Patriots are only allowing 7.7 in the last 3 games. That's incredible. So I like this to be a little bit lower scoring. I'm going to go 2017, and I think it's a battle to get to those numbers. So I like the under 40.5. I am betting on that. We'll take New England on the money line, Houston on the spread, and definitely Houston in a teaser. I really like it as a strong leg. So our super teaser is only plus 192 because it's only got 4 legs. Last week I had 6 legs. It usually has 15. And then our teaser is plus 140. You could also throw in San Francisco in the teaser if you want, and I think you can get over plus 200 for that. But I'm not going to do it because I think the Seattle team does have the ability to completely blow out the 49ers, and their injuries just might all catch up to them in this game. I don't think that's going to happen, but I see it as a possibility, so I want to leave them out of the teaser, whereas I think these other games are going to be a little bit closer. And then the one other bet that I like is the under 40.5 for the Houston New England game. And I did find it at plus money for 101. So as usual, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and tell me what you guys think in the comments. I will try to give away some money if we cash the super teaser or the teaser on this one. And just because it's, some good plus money, and we only have the one regular line play basically. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I will try to get some basketball videos out today or tomorrow. All right, thanks, guys.